Good evening. The key to our economic future, or simply a multi-billion-pound white elephant? The debate over HS2 is raging once again tonight after it was announced the high-speed rail link will go ahead.
Well, the government claims the £32 billion project from London to Birmingham will drastically reduce journey times between major UK cities, helping to bridge the north-south divide.
But campaigners along the route have long claimed it will ruin the countryside as it slices through villages in Oxfordshire and Buckinghamshire. Well, today the Transport Minister announced a more environmentally friendly option. New tunnels will be built near Amersham and Wendover. In a moment we'll have the latest reaction from the communities affected by the route and what they're saying at Westminster. First though, Kate Cooney spent the day with campaigners as they plan their next step.
We all know that if this proposal does finally go ahead, it will destroy Wendover.
In Wendover, angry residents pack into the local pub. They've dedicated months to fighting plans for a high-speed rail link, but today they say the government has ignored them.
We're working very hard with communities to make sure that we've mitigated the impact of HS2 as far as we possibly can. We'll continue to do that.
Whitehall, though, has given some ground. They've promised a slightly longer tunnel to reduce the impact on Wendover, but residents say it isn't enough.
It is mind-boggling. The business case has been completely torn to shreds.
From London up to Birmingham, it's cutting through masses of countryside that we don't really want to lose. And for what?
Wendover is just a few miles from the Prime Minister's country residence of Chequers. David Cameron may be their neighbour, but they're accusing him of destroying their village. Even local school children have drawn posters begging Number 10 to change its mind.
We have some posters in front of us done by local school children as school projects, and they are excellent posters, and they are still going to be paying for this project.
Marion Clayton chairs the Wendover Action Group, which was formed to try to derail plans for the £32 billion project.
I think it's going to have a devastating impact on the viability of the village, but more important is the national impact. The fact that we will have to borrow huge amounts of money when we are already immensely in debt.
This is only the first hurdle, though. The government would have to get a special bill through Parliament, and even if that's successful, the line wouldn't be up and running until 2026. It gives residents of Wendover more time to fight.
It may involve a legal review, it may involve further campaigning, but it's the House of Parliament that actually makes the decision, and that isn't going to happen until 2013 at the very earliest. So there's another 2 years of quite active campaigning before this gets the go-ahead.
In Wendover today, they say the battle may be lost, but the war is only just beginning.
Well, that report from Kate Cooney, who just a short time ago sent us this from Wendover with the very latest.
Well, the news is now sinking in here in Wendover. I have to say this wasn't unexpected. I was here yesterday and people said the announcement today was exactly what they'd been expecting the government to do. You can see how passionately, though, they've been fighting. The banner beside me is one of dozens strung up across the village. There are posters in people's windows, and in fact, at a fashion shop just down the hill behind me, they've gone to the trouble of having a T-shirt printed saying no to HS2. At the pub earlier on, we got a real sense of how strong feelings are. There were people spilling out onto the pavement. Now, they were told there that there would be an official public meeting at the end of next month to try and come up with a clear strategy, and I think one thing's particularly clear this evening: they will not stop this fight. The people here are committed to carrying on.
Kate Cooney reporting there. Well, the government believes the scheme will produce economic benefits of £47 billion over the next 60 years. But sceptics claim those predictions are widely optimistic. Well, for reaction from Westminster, let's cross to our political correspondent, Phil Hornby. Phil.
Sangeeta, as we've heard, the rail link is meant to bridge the north-south divide, but not here. MPs this afternoon from the north were queuing up to welcome the news. MPs from the south, like Hampshire's Julian Lewis, were queuing up to denounce it.
The previous Secretary of State for Transport is now running defence, where we are implementing major cuts in each of the armed services. Does the Secretary of State understand why those of us who are concerned about other areas of government wonder whether these priorities aren't rather perverse in the present economic situation?
Well, the government this afternoon wheeled out the Deputy Prime Minister, and we asked him what he would say to those people living along the route who claim their lives will be ruined by it.
Well, I think a lot of measures are going to be taken to minimise the disruption to people, whether it's tunnelling or making sure that there are sound insulation schemes in place. But I think we shouldn't lose kind of sight of the big picture, which is this is a great thing for the whole country. You know, for so long, governments in the past didn't invest for the long term to make sure that we didn't have these big divisions between north and south. I think this is the biggest step. Yeah, it'll take some years before it's actually built, but it's the biggest step to heal the north-south divide that has blighted our country for so long.
So if you do live along the route, I hope you feel better now. One MP whose constituency is being affected wasn't allowed to take part in the questioning today because he was in the Speaker's chair, the MP for Buckingham, John Bercow. But he has made remarks at meetings filmed by the Stop HS2 campaign over recent months that make his feelings pretty clear.
I, for my part, as Member of Parliament for the Buckingham constituency, am opposed wholeheartedly to this project, both as a matter of principle and in terms of the detailed description. Put simply, I think it is crazy to go ahead with this project.
So the Speaker's against it, but to be fair, the majority of MPs here are for it. So despite the campaigners' best efforts, it seems pretty certain tonight that HS2 will go ahead.
Phil, thank you.